This is Cheryl Manley from Sharing Love of Paper. I'm so glad you could join me today. Today I'm back with the Home for Christmas Scrapbooking Workshop Kit that I showed you the other day. I'm going to be working on this layout. I'm going to be adapting it because I have more pictures than the layout calls for. I'll bring this page in because it's the one that shows me how to put it together. I've made a few changes. I had these strips that were pre-cut during the previous video, and I decided I wanted to add a strip of green to the bottom of the borders to tie the green in a bit more in the layout. I used leftover green patterned paper for that. The first thing I'll do is go ahead and glue these two strips in place with the green that I already added. I think I'll just eyeball this to decide where I want it to go. Well, I say I'm going to just eyeball it, but let me just see here. I've got it higher than called for. I'll just move it down. And now I'm pressing this down really well since the glue started to dry a little. I'll go ahead and add my glue to this side. I'll get these main pieces put down. That looks like it's about an inch. Is that right? Yes. Okay. I should have mentioned that I went ahead and glued A1 down already. I trimmed out paper behind the white because I just couldn't see wasting all that pretty paper. Then I glued A1 in place. I did the same with A3 on the opposite page. Now I've added these borders, so I have A1, A2, A3, and A4 in place. I was supposed to have three 3x3 photos, but the pictures I wanted to use were 3x4. You remember how I mentioned how glad I was the kit provided leftovers? Here's a good example of why they're needed. Fortunately, there was enough left over so I could recut this panel to mat 3x4s instead of the previous one that matted 3x3s. This is also a good reminder to me to avoid cutting mats until I know for sure what I'm doing with my photos. So this is piece A5. It says it should be 2 1/4 inches from the edge, but I'm not sure I want to bring it in that far because I added that inch to the width. I'll just try this out here. And yes, I think I wanted a little less, right about here. I'll go ahead and glue that in place. I should mention that I went ahead and punched out all the pieces needed for layout A from the 2 punch-out sheets. I also removed the nubbins, those little bits that stick out where a punched-out piece has been held to the sheet. I like to use my scissors to trim all of those off so it looks cleaner. Oh, I got a bit of glue up here. I need to wipe it off. So, all my foundation pieces are in place. Now I need to bring in my other photos. For my 4x6, I have a landscape instead of a portrait photo, and I have 2 3x3s instead of just the one. I also had some other pictures I wanted to include, but they were pictures of the cookies we decorated, and I just fussy cut those to use as decorations on the page. So let me just set these things aside and bring in my pictures. This is the picture they have here. I wanted to add a bit of dark green, so you can see I added this narrow mat. That was because I used leftover of this paper from one of the other layouts to mat this extra photo. I thought it coordinated well with the others. So I've got this photo in landscape, I've got that photo with an extra mat, and I've got this matted photo. Oh yes, as you can see, I decided to add a bit of ribbon. I punched a hole right there and used the real red 1/4 inch stitched ribbon. So now let's see how I want to arrange these. If I had a longer photo like they had, you can see that theirs came down and covered up these gingerbread men. I could bring my title here, but I have to be careful to make sure it doesn't extend past the edge of the page. Then they have this piece coming down here. I think maybe I will bring it down just a bit. Let me just go ahead and lay this out. They talk about adding journaling here at the bottom. I printed these up to do just that, so I'll go ahead and glue them in place. I need to trim that just a bit so it fits, and then I'll add my glue. Now I'll go ahead and decide how I want to embellish this page. Since I know I won't use all the embellishments they provided, and I want to make the border look like it flows from page to page better. I'll get everything glued on and then bring back my finished pages. Okay, here's my finished page. I decided the cookie photos didn't show up well enough to use as embellishments to pull the eye around the page, so I used various red embellishments and sentiments to do that. I just moved my cookie photos to the top of the focal. I also brought in a bow sticker and a large gingerbread man that I actually used to span the pages so the weirdness at the border would be hidden. Now I just need to remove the magnets and then carefully bring in my paper trimmer to cut the pages apart. I'll carefully slide this over so I can carefully line up the edges of the pages along the cut line. Then I'll carefully cut that. And there we have it. 2 pages that form one cohesive layout. I really love using these scrapbooking kits. They make such quick layouts and keep me from getting in a layout rut. Also, there's usually enough extra material to create additional pages, so they turn out to be quite economical. But please remember that all Stampin' Up! Products are copyright Stampin' Up!, and these are no exception. Here are the close-ups. What did you like best about this kit or layout? Let me know in the comments below. And when you purchase Stampin' Up! Products, I hope you will choose me, Cheryl Manley, as your demonstrator. It won't cost you any extra, and I'll get a small commission to help support my channel. If you click that thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so, you'll make my day. Thanks, and have a great one.